Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising, today is a new day to start again. It is 6/26/2025. I've been on a very strange sleep cycle recently. The Pacers were in the NBA championship, and they were having a lot of late games, so I kept having to stay up late routinely to watch those games. I didn't have to, but I did. I did not do a video after Game 7, so I haven't done a video since Game 7. That wasn't really by design. I did have it written out a few times. Like I said, my sleep cycle's been off. And now with daylight savings time and the way that my work schedule works, when I get home, I've been enjoying being able to work until 10 or 10:30 at night, actually, because it's still somewhat light out to do stuff around my house. And I've been enjoying doing that. But yesterday I came home. It's also the sun seems more intense. So when you haven't been out in the sun much, like for long periods of time, and it's in it. Well, I have been though, but even when you have been, if it seems like some days it's just way more intense and you know it and you can feel it when it's happening those days, it just drains me out. So when I got home, I just went to sleep. And it's just been really weird. So now I got up at like 10. I rolled around sleeping because I'm trying to go to sleep at 7 o'clock at night. But once I got into the dream state, I just wanted to stay there, and I was planning on just sleeping the whole time. But then finally around 10:30, I was like, I've had enough. I'm gonna get up, I guess. And my cats. So I've gotten people talk to me about this when I first got cats for the first time. I got a cat initially named Bodhi, which is a larger, healthy black cat. And she's very chill and very loving. But I thought I was going to be doing a lot of things outside of the house. So I decided it was smart for me to get another cat. And so then I got Sassy after only having Bodhi for about a month and a half. And Bodhi was not initially very happy that I got Sassy. Sassy's a smaller gray cat with 4 socks. And she's got a little tilt to her head and a very clean face. And what's funny about Bodhi is going to go wherever she wants, basically. And you don't really tell her what to do, but she's chill. Like, she just wants to go sit out on the front porch, and she doesn't really want to do anything. She just wants to sit out there. And she's not happy when I tell her she needs to come inside. In the very beginning, when I first got her, she would go out exploring, and she still does a little bit of that. But for the most part, she's just content. She reminds me somewhat of a lion. I just want to chill, dude. And Sassy is much more active. The cool thing about Sassy is Sassy will come when you call her name because she's just happy to be involved in anything. So you can be walking around and not doing anything, and you just go, Sassy! And she'll come hopping around. Let's see if she does. Sassy! Come here, Sassy! She probably knows videos going on, and she's trying to... There she is. See? She does know something's going on, though. So you don't get to see her. She has not been on video. I think I had Bodhi on here one day. This is really entertaining for people that had. So I haven't done a video for a while. I wanted to for a couple days. It's really train wrecked. Nobody's watching my videos anymore, and I think it's kind of ran its course, but I'm going to keep probably doing them because I enjoy it. And so that's where it's at. We got a new moon in Cancer, and it does seem very peaceful out. So after I finish this, I'm planning on going out in my backyard and just kind of chilling for a while. I do seem uncomfortable. I want to be able to move forward. I'm at a position right now where I'm trying to figure out a way to I'm being very frugal. I'm not making very much money, and I'm trying to figure out how to strategically turn the little money that I have into possibly more money, or at least keep it. Part of that is just holding the value of the money. How can I increase my value is one thing I need to try to work on. I'm in a situation where I'm smart enough to understand that it could be very lucrative, and even though it's not been, um, a good salesman can figure out how to make money, make a living. I changed it actually. I put make a living because I don't think we should be saying make money. You're just trying to make a. I'm trying to make a living. I want to be alive and I want to be able to live in society. And so, whatever it takes to get to that point where I feel comfortable and I can fulfill my duties that I am and that I have, it's not all about money, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. It is, in essence, but in practicality, it is. My perspective, I am the most, so in the environment that I'm in right now, I see a lot of potential. I think that the economy that we're going into is going to push towards what I'm actually in. And the environment of a cash and carry or buy on spot and take with, as opposed to using credit. But you can use credit as well, like molding that together in furniture and mattress and trying to get the best bang for your buck kind of thing. I'm I'm really good at it. I've been doing it a long time. The biggest thing that I would say is I've had a lot of experience, and I've had positive experience. I've had negative experience too, but mostly positive experience. And I've had some of the best training that you can have especially in mattresses combined with cash and carry type service in mattresses. I'm very strong in that. But then furniture, I'm also pretty strong. I would call myself a beast. Like, I'm the kind of guy you want, that you're starving for, you wish you had. But nobody here knows that. If I was 30 coming with that kind of bravado, it would be much more powerful. But at 50, it looks like a guy that thinks that they know what they're talking about that doesn't. So it's a difficult thing, and I'm just trying to do my best. If they knew what I've done, like if they actually knew it, this would be a no-brainer. Like, my role would just facilitate into what is obvious. But all I can do is try to not exaggerate, try to make conscious efforts, and just let my value show. My value, it'll be seen. I mean, it's just going to be there. I'm just too good at this kind of thing. So I'm just going to take it really slow and be patient. Life has a way of working itself out. I'm literally making, it's funny though, because even though I can see a lot of potential where I'm at, I am literally in the last 3 months made the less amount of money per hour that I've made in 30 years. So I am not, but there's nowhere to go but up. I would think, I hope. I surely can't go down further. I did get a 6-day work week this week. It does seem to pull you into the mindset more and has an impact on you making more money. I've talked about that before. Just being at the store and being in the environment leads to, because you're in contact with more people and you just part of the business, so you know what's going on, which makes it easier to sell things that just came in, or just little things like that, if you understand the business. And I'm getting to where I'm really starting to understand the flow of everything. I don't want to talk about the actual setting that I'm in, but I'm trying to give relevance. I am much better at running the show than I am at shrugging my shoulders. And I don't really shrug my shoulders well, so I do try to find the answers. And what ends up happening is I just do things that are much above and beyond the responsibilities that I actually have, which then turns other people off because they think that you're either infiltrating into, or it's just so stupid. that you can't even just be yourself. At least I can do something about it, though. It's all comes down to money because everybody wants to make sure they're getting their piece of the pie. One of my biggest assets is my experience in training. So I have been very blessed with great teachers. And to do them honor would be to me to find a way to facilitate what I'm trying to do. The big thing that you are taught, that I was taught though, is that especially if you're a commissioned salesperson and you have opportunity at the door, your number one priority in that employment is to maximize every guest that comes through the door to the best of your abilities. And the best way to frame that is to create a process of some sort that you go through that's intended to get you to the outcome. That just makes sense. So that is why I really liked some of my formal training, because it makes sense to routine yourself into a flow that will help you get to do the things that you're wanting to do, which is create urgency. You want the customer to have the impulse of wanting to buy while they're in the store. Even when they come in, you're not trying to blast it back at them, but your entire intent of this entire process is, from the onset, I want to provide you with what you're looking for, and I want you to get that at today. This is done today. That's the whole process. That's your stick. But you don't want to turn the customer off. So people buy from people they like. So the way that you are able to do this in my formal training is you're supposed to get in with the guest first. Form a relationship with them before you even talk about business. The problem is, in this society, and actually through COVID, that really got hurt because we lost the handshake and we lost the personal interaction. It also turned into more of a employee customer based situation in almost everywhere that you go, because very, very few companies are. Anyways, so it has shifted. Most customers won't allow you to sit there and talk about whatever shirt they're wearing and where they bought it from for very long, because they know that they don't want to do that. So it has become much more, and with the internet, a transactional based product and buy thing. There's just not as much of that. But the adage still does remain, they're more likely to buy if they like you. So figuring out a way to get them to like you, and that probably starts with not talking about the weather in the very beginning and being cliche. You just try to be genuine. They're coming in. So when the first approach with a customer will almost always say, when they're coming into a situation where someone is greeting them at the door, regardless of where they're going, they don't want to be sold. So they've had poor interactions, and that is just a natural response now. I'm just looking. I don't want to talk to you, because people that I've talked to like this end up talking me into something that I don't want to do. Or they worked somewhere that had some unsavory practices in the way that they presented their presentation that would lead to unsavory type behavior and experience for a customer in the end, where they felt like they were duped. So they know that you're trying to get in with them to talk them into buying something that they don't want to buy. That's what they think. So you can't do that anymore, but you have to still get them to like you. So that just is a very delicate way of learning how to do things. It's long-winded, but that's reality. That's how much it's changed, where it's much more transactional. So you're really just coming in trying to show all your cards, really, I think, because they can look up. So you have to build that into your presentation at the beginning of it, to why they should buy here. And one of it is just having the access of the inventory, being able to come and try something out and then being able to pick it up or have it delivered within 2 to 3 days is what I think is kind of the time frame of what most people want. They have a broken recliner, they want a new one, they're willing to wait up to maybe a week for the one recliner that they want, but it actually would be better to just have it today or tomorrow in one that's closer to what they want. And they're willing to pay a little bit of money extra compared to being able to just look at one online and guess. They would probably, so that's where you're trying to get into. I've talked about this before. In this new environment, really the easiest way you could do it is using whatever you're Googling. You want to be able to find a local place where it's at. So what people want to do is they want to say, I got a broken recliner, I want a new recliner near me. They look at their phone and they go, hey, David's Furniture is right down the street. They got recliners. Their prices are listed here. They want to know how much. The thing is, they don't want to go blind. That's just silly. And whatever price it shows, they better get it for that price. This is where you can profit by, first of all, you want to competitively have that price point somewhere. So you want to have an item that they're looking for that will be in stock, that is at that value, and that's easy to get. And that might be your 3 to 4 day thing that you're getting, because that'll make it easier for you to be able to replenish it because it's at a warehouse somewhere. But you have that available or week. You don't want anything that's going to be taking 5-6 weeks. Nobody wants to wait 5 or 6 weeks, and that's usually turns into 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. So you want your product, whatever you're advertising, to be accessible within a week, basically. And people will pay and put it at a price point. So as they're looking around, you can find somewhere I can go try it at David's Furniture. It's $6.99. I see one that's $5.99, but it looks like I got to do blah, or they don't even show the price, blah, 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 or it's in Delaware. But they see one near me, it's $5.99. It's a little bit more than that one. It's easy to cross-reference. Check that if you go to like Wayfair. There's so many of these companies that they do these, they provide these same products so that people can go and look up, find out what it is, and then go to Wayfair and order it that way. That's how Amazon has really affected people, is because they'll go to Walmart, find like product, and then just order it through, not Walmart, through Jot. Why am I talking? I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's just been it's a very different environment now. So basically what I'm trying to say is people want to be able to become familiar with somewhere and then just go there, is what I would say. They want to just know that if they need furniture, David's Furniture's in Kokomo, I can look on my phone, figure out what they got, drive over there, try it, and have it within a day or two or a week, and get comfortable. And I don't worry about it, because I know that most of the furniture now and most of the stuff is what it is. It's not made like it used to be. That's just the way it is. And I want just to make sure my price point's right. And when I'm done with my stuff, we're in a disposable society. That's just the way it is. It's 3 to 5 year kind of stuff. We live in houses for 3 to 5 years. We move and we want to change our stuff out. You just don't want to have to pay a premium price, and you want it to be something that's going to feel pretty good for at least the 3 to 5 years that you get it. What you don't want is to overpay for something that somebody tells you it's going to last 9 years, and it actually only lasts us 3 years, and then you're burned because you were talked about some of these features, but the reality is the whole thing and our lifestyle has changed. We sit on our furniture and live in it much more. So you should really just have it on a basis of, because we're on it so much, you're going to be replacing it. You could make it to where that's what you'll find is a lot more people that have inserts that are replaceable, or the same product that you can buy over and over again. That's what one company that I know of is, I think, going into, is we have a $498 recliner. It lasts you 3 years, and in 3 years you'll be able to buy that same recliner again. It'll be pretty much be the same thing, and that's just how it works. You're not even upset about it. You're like, let's just throw that one out and get the new one in. And you've done it, so you know it's going to last at least that long, and you're willing to pay. It's fine. That's what the future is. So what am I getting into? But in my environment, I can't get there. I can't tell everybody that. So we have this kind of old style, still selling style. So I have to kind of flow into that and adapt. So what I wanted to get into is, you're supposed to take each opportunity that you get one at a time. And people buy from people they like, so it's very important for you to be likable. That means you're in a good mood. That means you're positive when they come through the door, even when they have horrible negative questions, and a lot of people are just horrible and negative just to start. And you got to be like, they come right in going, you're ugly and you smell, and I don't like people like you, and I just want to walk around for a minute because I need this, but I've already been to 4 places, I've been bugged, and I'm tired of it, and I don't want to even mess with you, but I hope I find what I want. So just stay out of my way. And then you're just like, okay. And you get out of the way and you let them walk around. And then finally they find exactly what they want, but they have demanding things that they want because they've had poor customer service. So they're laying down the law and they're against policy. And you're like, I'm sorry. And they say, well, then this is stupid. And they leave. When all of that could have been resolved if you would have taken the time to really listen. So as a sales associate, you figure out a way to get there because your ultimate goal is to finish with a positive reaction. And I will say this, when you turn a negative customer into a positive experience, you have a loyal customer basically for a long time. So all of that is really important, and it's really important to take. That's how important each up that you get, especially as a sales associate. So if my company is not, it's not on my company's responsibility. I can literally build my own customer base. And what I was trying to say is if I do create a great customer service experience, so the number one reason why a sale is lost is because I never reapproach that customer and figure out a way to close the sale, and they leave and they're not happy. You failure to ask to buy, but failure to ask to buy isn't just, by the way, haha, did you want to buy something while you were here and then throw away? Sometimes I do that just to make myself feel better, but you've lost at that point. You have to find an opportunity to figure out a way to make a sale. Find out what they want. Is there anything in here that you like? And if there's not, then I don't know that you've done enough because there's probably something in the store, especially as big of a store that you're in, that you could probably sell them if you really took the time and became friends with them. Listen, and then convince them that, listen, I only make this amount of money. I spent this much time with you. I think we've had a good interaction. Would you buy something? And literally some people will. I don't think you should get to that point. I'm just saying that every opportunity, if you did it the right way, could land in a sale. That's how important it is, creating a good customer service experience in the end, that you're just there to help and you're giving them your time. The other reason why a sale is lost is because of confusion. And confusion is basically loss of trust. They don't trust the situation, they don't feel right about it, and they get the heck out. And that creates a bad customer service experience that you never know about that ends up having a negative effect on your business that can't be redeemed until it just works itself out through the grapevine. That's how powerful it is. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm a good salesperson, good salespeople learn how to sell in every environment. If I get 10 opportunities, if I'm a better salesperson, I'm the best that I can be. I'm going to create great customer service experience. I tell them at the end of the experience from front end to end to tell their friends and family. And out of those 10 sales, I gain 1 or 2 sales just from my my ability to process the sale well. And let's say I get 1, that's a big boost. You're basically creating a whole new customer base that can be recurring. And then if I get 2, boy, I bump that up even more. And if I get 3, if I start running on every 10 customers, create 3 more customers for myself, and those 3 customers create 10 branches of 3, it can have a very faster than you think impression. Like within a month, you pick up 5 or 6 more sales just from the sales from the previous month by doing your job well. And that happens exponentially. And then you do get recurring customers and family bases, and that's just how it works. But it all comes down to doing a good customer service. If your business grows because of you, it will be noticed, just reflected in whatever compensation system you have. But typically, when you start to you become valuable, and that's just what happens. So stay invested, stay away from stinking thinking. That's really important. One of the biggest things you'll read in pretty much every sales book, attitude is everything, and you can get around people that have poor attitudes. Be solution-based. That's it. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. I really think I've been hammering in on that recently, and I think it's true. The way that luck happens is because when whatever opportunity happens, whatever is in play in those opportunities, those individuals that have any kind of influence had done the proper work to make what needed to happen. If others see you, they will know, even the ones that are your enemies. And that's how you get the scene in Rocky 4 where he's in Russia and he gets the Russians to start chanting Rocky. It's kind of dumb, but there is some to that. That's not much more powerful than showing your effort and changing the dynamic. I don't want to watch screams. That's what I'm now that the Pacers are over, I'm kind of ready to turn it off. I really don't want to watch any more of it. So I don't need to know why, and I really don't want to be a part of any of these movements. I'm compartmentalizing my life, and I'm trying to do that by my newest thing is really compartmentalizing my moments. I'm going to play my role and try to be classy. The poorest fellow is often the greatest of gentlemen, and that makes all the difference. That's my little line. Someday your work will be seen. Someday your work will be seen by the people that are around you, good and bad. It all comes back to roost. These videos have pretty much ran their course as developing into any kind of substance with any kind of significance. They actually are very representative of my life. They are nothing. I'm Jerry Seinfeld, just way less successful. I haven't actually broken any ground here. What I wanted to do was present what woo-wee is. I kind of wanted to give a modern version of the Tao Te Ching in some way, but the difference is I think Lao Tzu, or the character Lao Tzu, was a much more competent person that was giving off. He was asked. He was asked to give his written. I haven't been asked. I'm just giving it. So there's a difference there. But I think I should probably work on that too. Really work on only giving my conjecture when I'm asked to. Nobody cares. I think this woo-wee, the idea of woo-wee, which I think actually is love, eros, it's the balance. There's something about electricity and then there's something about magnetism. And I think there's a balance between the two of those. That's my recent thing that I've been equating into. And I thought that woo-wee was in some way related, more involved with magnetism. But what I think is woo-wee is everything. It actually is the electricity and the magnetism. Woo-wee is like the original. From order and chaos, it's like what is in, but it is the origin of it is the origin of order and chaos. It is the pre. But we can't define it because it's outside of, like, if there's a pyramid and there's a dot on the top, above that is woo-wee, is the creator of woo-wee, is the creator of this, of everything, of the whole pyramid. And we can't conceptualize it because we're within this, I think is how I'm trying to define it for people, for what I think it is. So the source of woo-wee is above that. And we just, as humans, cannot conceptualize out. Maybe we can in dreamland. Maybe we can in, like, after we die and before we come here. But to this point, we can't inside of this. So when we talk of Yahweh and when we talk of Elohim, we're talking of things inside of this, like maybe this part right here, the top, Father might be that, or Father might be like the point, I guess, if you want to say the sun or the point, it is like what we would call Father God, if you want to put a point to it. I really don't think it's that. I think it's like, I don't want to conceptualize what I think Father is, but, and then I would say that Earth or Mother is the pyramid in structure. Like it's what creates the foundation up to this point. So it's everything, including, the base, I guess. what's underneath. I don't even know if there is an underneath, but that would be how I conceptualize it, basically in a structure. So woo-wee is what makes this woo-wee is what makes this flow. What makes this flow? The pyramid. And then the source of it that we're really supposed to be giving all of our to isn't actually the Father, but the creator of this. So somehow I created this and this. I don't know. But what I'm saying beyond it is we just can't conceptualize it. And it's not really for us. We're really inside this. So that's what I'm trying to show. But I think it's probably been counterproductive because people think I'm a pothead. They think I'm off my rocker or just am lazy. And this is like part of woo-wee is allowing the universe to do what it does. Because when you interfere, you just F it up. Even when you're doing good. You're only supposed to do things when you're literally called to do them. Is what, if everybody did that. But sometimes you're really called to do a lot of stuff. Because right now I feel called when I walk into that environment to figure out what I feel called to do is just fix everything. But I know that I can't. So I have to just allow my opportunity to show. So you can be Michael Jordan. I'm not saying I'm Michael Jordan, but you could be Michael Jordan sitting on the bench. Well, you really can't be according to the idea of what Michael Jordan is. He wouldn't have allowed it. He would have made it miserable for everybody until he became number one. But there is another type of player that's not Michael Jordan, that is more Taoist, that is capable of being Michael Jordan, knowing that they have those capabilities, but no one else sees it, so they just allow that. So when they are put into the opportunity and then they go, and everybody is like, where did that come from? He's like, it's been here the whole time, guys. You freaking stupid. And he was smart, or she was the smartest all along. But they're not trying to be glorified in that. They don't even like that glory. That's part of the reason why they were sitting there at 11. They were like, I don't have to do anything. I'm still strong. I'm still working on my stuff, but at least I'm not having been. You're only called to do what you're called to do. The problem that I have is I do need money, and so I'm being strategic. So I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do and trying to be very patient. And I think that it will pay off and compound. That's what I was trying to say. It compounds. Make your value compound. But I think it's probably so what I might provide with these videos is don't do what this guy did. I mean, that might be something that I provide, or just in the way that I'm living in general. Like when I do shine in moments and they're like, why are you down here? And you're like, it makes them maybe question for a minute. And then they're like, if you talk to me long enough, you're going to realize why I'm on the bottom of society, because I'm going to pee you off and you're going to walk away and say, I'm not talking to that guy. I promise you. Like, I'm going to hit on there's three basic things. If you talk to me long enough, my core beliefs are going to piss you off and you're not going to want to be around me because it's going to be completely contradictory to what you think and what you believe in. And you're going to think I'm the antithesis of that at that point. And I can't fix it. Even though I'm charming and all this, it doesn't, because I haven't been able to articulate what woo-wee is. And the ones that I can articulate that to don't resonate with me in other ways because I have some very strange beliefs because of this logic-bound idea that I have in the way that I'm living my life. It's not contradictory, even though it seems it is. Anyways, and many people just misinterpret me as being a self-indulgent narcissist, which maybe I'm misinterpreting my bravado in life as something other than what it truly is, which is being a self-indulgent narcissist. I've heard other content creators that talk about their personal life. I think that's probably been my biggest stain. I mean, like I said, there's 3 or 4 different tenets to really my core beliefs that are very contradictory to mainstream. And they're all in different ways. I think that they're basically the tents that people live under, because I think we're in a clown show and it's a circus. And I'm trying not to be part of the circus, but there's a whole clown show for that too. And I don't think I really interact well with that clown show. Part of what makes this authentic, though, is it is what I'm trying to do. It is me. No one seems to care. And that almost lends to my credibility. It does lend to me also feeling very depressed and isolated when you put yourself out there like this that often and all day, all the time, and you get nothing back really. And you can tell that people were watching and they're just like, leave that alone. I don't even want to mess with it. It does feel like you haven't gained any kind of traction, but also there's so many places to put your attention and intent. So to take anything personally is kind of silly. I didn't do this for that purpose in the first place. So I'm not wasting my precious time doing these. It's actually helping me. And like I said before, if it helps anyone that watched all the way through, I mean, it did help me because I wrote it all out and then I said it out loud and then I get to move on to and it's been making such improvements in my life. And it's making it to where I enjoy my moments much better as opposed to just living in worry and depression. That does no good. It just spins the wrong way. So one thing that my mom, I wanted to bring back to, and I think I can do this without crying, she was very big about projects and to-do lists. So I've been working on that a little bit. I call them moments. So I think we experience moments regardless. You're always in a moment. Your whole life is one big moment. I've talked about that before, and you can define it how you want to and how other people want to, whatever you want. You can spend your time trying to define it, or you can just live in your moments. And I think that's the best way to go about it. Live inside your moments while you're in your moment. And really being present. That's what makes your personal awareness, your staying aware in your present moment is so critical to your life and your enjoyment of life. And then theming those moments helps you into like characters of time of what you're trying to accomplish. So my mom used to create these projects. She used to say, we've got a little project to do. And I've been using that a little bit more in defining my moments. So you make these little projects, create one or fix one rose bush, fix one area, fix another area. And you have those to look forward to doing, and then you get your accomplishment done. And what that does, now that I'm defining those instead of as projects, as moments, as you do your moments, as you define your moments, and then you fulfill your moments, you gain momentum. And I like that. And then that helps you to gain confidence as you accomplish your moments with good stamps. Like I did that, I feel good about it. I did that, I feel good about it. And I don't have to go back and look at it because I did it. You may go back and fix it. And as you have these little things going on, they gain value. And people notice that. And from that, you'll gain. And that is just how it is. The confidence, though, is the biggest thing that you gain, of reputation, of the way that you're living, your momentum, your confident momentum. So you can become good at anything, wherever you're at, and make a positive change wherever you're at, just by doing that, whatever is in your abilities. So if you just take what you have in front of you and you make it into a moment and you fulfill that moment well, and you do good, you be good, and then you will become grateful for what you have. And that just makes a huge impact on everything around you. And that's what my intent is, to try to do every day. And I usually make it till about noon. Sometimes I don't make it that far. Sometimes I don't make it past the front door. And I am yelling and cursing. And you're like, dang it, David. That doesn't do any good. The snap helped. Hope everybody has a great day out there. I'm sorry on the sporadic videos, and I really don't know what I'm going to do moving forward. I'm trying to keep flowing with these. At the same time, I'm in a weird place. I am going to try to turn off my screens and I think I want to fast a little bit, but it's going to be hot. So I'm just trying to go with the flow and make sure that I live well. Everything has been pretty secure, and I feel pretty good about moving forward and just trying to do my best. Hope everybody has a great day out there. Do great, be great, be grateful.